Active Directory Hardening. New room to learn basic concept regarding Active Directory attacks and mitigation measures. Active Directory AD is widely used by almost every big organization to manage, control, and govern a network of computers, servers, and devices. The room aims to teach basic concepts of hardening AD in line with cybersecurity practices, learning objectives. The topic that we will cover in this room include secure authentication methods, securing hosts through group policy, implementing the least privilege model, protection against known AD attacks, cover plan, post-compromise scenario. Prerequisites: Active Directory basics, breach Active Directory, the corporate standard techniques used in corporate environment. Connecting the machine. Not gonna read this. Understand the concept. Domain acts as a core until regarding the logical structure of the Active Directory in initial store. All the crucial information about the object that belong to domain only. Domain controller is an Active Directory server that acts as the brain for the Windows Server domain. It supervises the entire network within the domain. It acts as a gatekeeper for users, authentications, and IT resources authorization. User tries to access the domain. Request first sent to DC. DC validates the request, grants access if valid user denies otherwise. Tree enforced. Tree is a set of domains. Forest is a set of trees. Logical. Trees are responsible for sharing resources between the domains. The communication between domains inside the tree is possible by either one-way or two-way trust. When a domain is added to a tree, it becomes offspring domain of that particular domain to which it is added, now a parent domain. Okay, let me check this real quick. So basically we have here a forest that contains trees, and if we want to add child domain, we will add it in here, and it will have the parent node and the child node. And here we have child domain with organizational units. When the sharing of standard global catalog, directory scheme, logical structure, and directory configuration between the collection of trees, it is made successfully. It's called forest. Trees. Collection of trees is made successfully. It's called forest. Communication between two forests becomes possible when the forest level trust is created. So also we have the trust between two forests. Okay. So AD trust and Active Directory. AD is established communication bridge between the domain in Active Directory. When we saw one domain trusted another AD network, it means its resources can be shared with another domain. However, one domain's resources are not directly available to every other domain. It is not safe that the resources sharing ability is governed by trust in AD. The AD trust of two categories which are classified based on their characteristics or their current direction. AD trust based on the characteristics. Transitive trust, non-transitive trust, one-way trust, two-way trust. Trusted based on directions. Okay, AD trust. So, AD trust categorized based on characteristics are known as transitive trust and non-transitive trusts. Transitive trust reflects two-way relation between domains. If there are three domains, A trusted B and B has a transitive trust to C. So basically, let me draw it real quick. So basically, if domain A trusts domain B, two-way trust, and domain C trusts domain A, let me convert. Domain C trusts domain B, then domain A can trust domain C. It's transitive trust. Okay. So, domain A will automatically trust domain C for sharing resources. Again, AD trusts two-way types when classified based on their direction. One-way and two-way trust. We can access the domain trust by server manager. Domain. Nope. Server manager. Tools. Server manager tools, Active Directory domains and tasks. Let me see. Tools, Active Directory, domains and trust. Container and libs. For those familiar, each network part is trusted as the object ID. Anything from resources, users, services, or part of the network can be an object. The hierarchical structure of Active Directory defines that an object may or may not contain the objects based on the scenario. When an object holds another object, it is termed a container. Otherwise, it's called leaf. So as we saw, I guess in here, this is the I guess it is container, this one, because it contains objects, organizational unit, and this is leaf. At least on this draw. Okay. So now we have TryHackMe lock is container of the THM lock. What is the root in a touched AD machine? Root TryHackMe lock. Let me see what we have in the next one. In this task, we briefly learn various security authentication methods that can be used for security communication and ensuring data integrity from one machine to another in AD environment. We will use the built-in Microsoft Tool Group Policy Manager editor. So we have Group Policy Management. This is it. Available in an attached Active Directory machine. So we can see tool. Yep. Go to access the tool are below. And then edit and here edit and we got policies, Windows, policies, Windows settings, get LAN manager hash. The user account password Windows isn't stored in a clear text. Instead it stores Windows with two types of hash representation. When Windows for any user is changed, it's set with a fewer than 50 character both LM hash, LAN manager hash, and AIM NT hash. Windows NT hash are generated by user can be stored in a Active Directory. The LM hash is relatively weaker than NT hash and is prone to a fast brute force attack. The best recommendation is to prevent from storing Windows LM hash can access through the following. So we have security settings. Now we have local policies, security options, network security. Do not store network security. Do not allow store password. Nope. Do not store this one. Do not store LAN manager hash value on next password change enabled. Okay. SMB signing. SMB standard for server message block. Generally, Microsoft-based networks utilize this protocol for file and print communication. Moreover, it allows secure transmission over the network. Configuring SMB signing through group policy is crucial to detect man-in-the-middle attacks that may result in modification of SMB traffic in transit. SMB signing ensures the integrity data for both client and server. All supported Windows versions have SMB packet signing options. So now in security options, Microsoft client, digitally signed communication always. So Microsoft client communication always. This is it. Define, enable. Okay. And we got some troubles in here. Digitally signed communication always. Network client. Digitally signed always. Yes. Enabled. LDAP signing. Lightweight directory access protocol enables locating and authenticating resources on the network. Hackers may introduce reply or meet attacks to launch custom LDAP requests. Therefore, LDAP signing is simple authentication and security layer SAL, SASL property that only accepts signed LDAP request and ignores other requests, plain text or non-SSL. We can enable LDAP signing through the following: domain, LDAP, service signing requirement, define policy, require signing. Okay, you are about to change the settings to value that may affect compatibility with client services and applications. Q. Domain signing. Do you want to proceed? Boom. Require signing. We have in here. Okay. Password rotation. Active Directory security is critical to addresses because of security breaches, password reuse. It becomes challenging for any organization to reset accounts or update themselves everywhere. So they prefer not to do it. This scenario would have a few alternative approaches, and each method has pros and cons. First technique: create script that to update passwords automatically with the scheduled task with the help of PowerShell. This method doesn't require any additional overhead and removes all manual effort for password rotation, but it requires you to maintain your script, which could be challenging. Second technique: add multi-factor authentication (MFA) solution to add and choose not to change password often. It adds security layer and you will not need to change password often. You can read more about implementing here. Let me check this one. So we indeed have the plan of the Azure Active Directory multi-factor authentication deployment. And we require scenario cloud only, no prerequisite task. Hybrid scenarios, and we have bad password, good password, better password, best password less. So here we have hardware token, OTP, one-time password, voice and SMS, authenticator, software tokens, authenticator, Windows Hello, FIDO2 security key, certificates. So we have good explanation of how to MFA your domain. We also have PowerShell that can MFA state, set requirement state, plug users session lifetime, and more in here. Okay, let me switch to the original one. And third technique provides a solution for services account password rotations through the group management service accounts GMSAs, which changes password after every 30 days. Can learn in here. So we have also benefits of GMSA, set strong passwords, they click regularly, support deployment to server farms, support simplified service principal name, SPN management, and more explanation how we can achieve this one. This looks fine if you ask me. Password policies. Attackers used various corporate password compromise techniques, including brute force dictionary, password spray, credential attacks, etc. All organizations must have a strict password policy to defend against all such attacks. Password policies mean different rules for creating password, include length, complexity, changing frequency. For viewing and configuring password policy, you can use the following password policy. We are in account password policy and we have age 42 days. We are in here 42 days. Enforce password history 24 password remembered. Let me I can play with this one. Okay. So the length 7 characters, minimum age 1 day, maximum password age 42 days, password mark complexity, meets complexity, explain. Okay, we have explanation in here, and let me we can play with this one also. Okay, understand the password policy settings, enforce history, prevent at least 10 to 50 old password from being set as the new ones. Minimum should be 10 to 40. We have 10, 11. Okay. Complexity requirement contains name of user, ensure has uppercase, lowercase. Complexity. Where do we have complexity? In here. Explain. I don't see any. Need to be changed, and change the group policy does not store. We've done this. And what is the minimum length? Okay, let me check. Minimum length. Default 7. I guess 7. Whoops. Okay. Implementing least privilege model requires limiting the user and application access to minimum security risk attack surface. When the application or user are allowed to operate with administrative privileges, they are granted complete access to modify, alter, create other resources on the system and perform any action with administrative rights. Contrary to this is least model grants limited and authorized access per current condition. Advantages of implementing list: prevent malware spread, minimize cyber attack changes, improve productivity, demonstrate compliance, aid with data classification. Create the right type of account. Implementing the least privilege model requires setting up different account types for diverse purposes. It includes the following types. User must promote user using regular account for most people in the network who are necessary to perform their regular duties. Privilege account are the accounts with elevated privileges are further classified as the first, second privilege accounts. Shared account. Those accounts are shared among the group of people as the visitor with bare minimum privilege, given limited access for the specific time. Those accounts are not recommended and must be utilized in limited scenarios. Role-based access control on hosts. As system administrator, it is most important to grant rights to resources while keeping principle of least privilege in mind, which states that Wikipedia. The principle of minimal privilege are the principle of least authority requires that in particular abstraction layer of the computing environment, every model such as process, user, or program depending on the subject must be able to access only the information and resources that are necessary for its legitimate purpose. Role-based access control allows you to indicate access privileges at different levels. It includes DNS server or resource record level or specifies who has access control over creating, editing, deleting operation of various resources of Active Directory. Tiered access model. The Active Directory tiered access model THM comprise plenty of technical controls that reduce the privilege escalation risk. It consists of logical structure that separates Active Directory assets by creating boundaries for security purposes. The primary goal is the protection of Active Directory's top valued identities tier 0 at the same apps and other services tier 1 2 at it comprises three tiers tier 0 1 and 2, which are as follows. Tier 0 top level and includes all admin accounts, domain controller and groups. Tier 1 domain member application and service. Tier 2 end user devices like HR and sales staff, non-IT personnel. Distribution of the access: domain account, server admins, workstation admins. Implementation of the access model. The critical implementation of this model is based on the principle of prevention of privileged credential from cross-boundary attacks, accidentally or intentionally. Implementing technical control via group policy object GPO is crucial to avoid such scenarios. Those group policy objects put together the security rights that can deny access, grant permission. You can read more about tiered and enterprise model EAM here. enterprise access model. So we have data workload plan, applications, control plane, management plane, and we have management plane, privilege access. So privileges are in the top hierarchy tree, and all the rest are in the, you have the user access from the bottom, and then we have management plane that is in the center, and all the unified strategy, policy, and other. So we have tiers, the servers, the workstations. Okay, very nice. Auditing accounts. Accounts auditing is crucial task manually carried out by setting up correct account, assigning privileges, and applying restrictions. 3 audit types related to accounts must be done periodically. Usage, privilege, change audits. Usage audit allow monitoring each account's specific tasks and validation their access right. The privilege audit allows you to check if every account in the system has a least privilege. Changing audits allows you to look for any improper changes to account permission, password, and settings. Any unacceptable change to those may lead to data breach. Computer printers must be added at the now. Suppose the vendor arrives at the facility for a 2-week duration task. Being a system administrator should create high privilege for him now. What do we have in here? Microsoft Security Appliance Toolkit. MSCT. Official toolkit provided by Microsoft Implementation, manage local and domain level policies. You don't have to worry about complex policy syntax and script, as Microsoft will provide pre-developed security baselines per the end user environment. You can download MSCT from the official Microsoft link in here. So it looks like this, and we have every version that we can think of, I guess. Installing security baseline. Microsoft offers its customer security baseline readily available customizable format like GPO, Group Policy Objects Backups. You can easily download it as a zip file, extract content. Here is how you can download and install. Open security compliance website, click OK. Baseline extract. So we already have this one. Open scripts, baseline, run as PowerShell, local script, baseline, run PowerShell. We have run PowerShell. Okay. Policy Analyzer. Let me see. Policy Analyzer. Same link. One of the security compliance toolkit features is a policy analyzer, which allows comparison of group policy to quickly check inconsistencies, redundant settings, and the alteration that need to be made between them. Consider a scenario where the plenty of GPO are applied at a diverse level. There will be conflicting, redundant settings and many more avenues that can quickly resolve with the policy analyzer, same as the security baseline. So we can download this one, policy analyzer, and we have Excel, the policy analyzer, GPO policy analyzer, this one. Okay. Nope. I don't see the. Okay. So find an open baseline, local install, edit. Can you find the flag? What? Baseline, local install, template. Nope. Script. Nope. GPOL. Nope. Baseline. Okay. Let me open this one in PowerShell as ICE. ISE. Open. Scripts. Analyzer. Local. Flag. Let me find in script. Float. THM. Here we go. THM 000. Yep. Merge policy rule. So now open policy analyzer. Let me policy rules. Why? Merge policy rule script. Okay, merge policy rule script. The same flag. HTM 91. Okay. So, protecting against known attacks. If an intruder successfully gained the main admin account access, you may consider that the game is over. No one is ever ready to disclose the company's confidential information or for financial loss. Before we discuss some known attacks, it is crucial to think like an attacker, develop the mindset wearing their shoes. Here are some already developed interesting room in THM get you going through. Zero long gone, breach AD, exploit inboard, exploitation. Let's review a few methods. Cyber roasting is a common successful post-exploitation technique for attacker to get privileged access to AD. The attacker exploit Kerberos ticket granting ticket service ticket granting service to request the encrypted password, and then attacker cracks it offline through the various brute force techniques. Those attacks are difficult to detect as the request is made through an approved user and no unusual traffic pattern is generated during the process. You can prevent this attack by ensuring an additional layer of authentication through MFA or by requesting the periodic Kaspersky distribution center service account password reset. You can learn more about this attack here. So we got stop active directory attacks and other post-exploitation behavior with AMSI machine learning. So we have cloud machine learning, blocking, bloodhound attacks. Very nice. Stopping cable hosting is bloodhound attacks, techniques, stealing credential, both red team and attackers, abuse Casper Rose, ticket granting service to gain access to accounts, typically generating domain account for lateral movement. Cable roasting attack involves scanning an Active Directory environment to generate list of users that have Cable's service principal name SPN. Attacks then request those SPN to grant Cable's service tickets to those accounts. The ticket are dumped from the memory using various tools like Mimikatz and then exfiltrated for offline brute force on the encrypted segment of the ticket. If successful, attackers can identify password associated with the account, which they then use to remotely sign into machine or access resources. So we have the thorough explanation how it can be done or prevented. First done and then prevented. Okay. Weak and easy to guess passwords. The easiest target for intruder breach security is weak and easy to guess all passwords. The best recommendation is to use strong password and avoid already known ones. The strong password consists of combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and special characters. You can learn more about password string here. So we have policies, we have characters allowed and characters not allowed, links, minimum 8 characters long, password complexity, uppercase symbols, password check required, and property default 90 days. This is for Azure AD. Okay. So there are many tools available that can help perform password auditing in AD. You can see report generated through the free tool. Let me desktop and we have on age no week. Okay, good. Brute forcing remote desktop protocols. The intruder or attacker can scan to brute force a weak credential. Once the brute force is successful, they quickly access the compromised system and try to do privilege escalation and along with persistent fault hope in the target computer. Best recommendation is to never expose RDP without additional security control to public internet. Continuous audits for scanning attacks or brute attempts are also an important step. Publicly accessible share. During AD configuration, some share folders are publicly accessible or left unauthenticated, providing the initial foothold for attackers. For the lateral movement, you can use get SMB open file. CMD lab. Where do we have this one? Templates. Nope. GPU. Nope. Hill GPU. Once again. Nope. I don't see it. Analyze. Split. Rules. Merge rules. Get open file. Let me check it in here. Get SMB open file. Okay. Nothing is open. Look at any undesired share on a network in configuration access accordingly. Does Kyber roasting utilize offline attack scheme for cracking? Yep. As per generated report, how many users have the same password as Aaron Booth? Let me see. Aaron Booth number. Aaron Booth Jones 2. As per user, how many users have the same password as okay. I don't understand the question, but let it be. Are you sure your AD is secure for all types of attack? Hardening an AD is continuous process, demand collective effort as system administrator and user. There have been various system hardening standards, and we discuss a few in this room. Below is quick summary hardening techniques that will enable system administrator to harden ADS quickly. So we have levels. Implementing list model, restrict domains, audit, tiers, role-based access. Securing authentication method, password rotation, protection, credential theft, multi-factor authentication, SMB signing. For detecting again known attacks, Kyber roasting, weak and easy to guess password, brute force attack, remote desktop protocols, publicly accessible share. Microsoft Security Compliance Key, installing security baselines, analyzing group policies, local group policy objects, enable auto updates for Windows, the most crucial element for this. For security, Microsoft machine, malware threat actors. So simple, isn't it? This was a basic introduction. We are planning to develop few detailed AD hardening rooms to discuss in-depth protection policies, implementing list privilege model. Stay tuned. Thank you all for being with me. Bye bye.